guys, it's Ruby and we are back again with another Vegas buffet review. Today is just a little bit different though. We have popped a couple minutes off strip to Chinatown because we have found an amazing all-you-can-eat crab legs, lobster, seafood buffet. Sounds amazing. Let's go give it a try.
It's like it was.
Just got seated at the Imperial Seafood Buffet. So our server did tell us that the crab legs are only on the weekends. However, they are gonna have blue crab and lobster that they serve at 3 o'clock. It's a little bit before 3 right now, so I think we're gonna check out what other offerings they have before we try those. Let's start with some sushi. He looks nice. Ooh, he's got a good little jalapeno on him. Beautiful. Salmon is my absolute favorite. We need 2 of those. Tuna. Yum. Let's see. Ooh. This looks like a crab roll of some kind. Looks amazing. Oh my gosh, they have a bunch of different kinds. A Utah roll, Las Vegas roll. Well, we need to try Las Vegas roll. Thunder roll. Ooh. Ooh, tiger roll. Amazing. I'm filling up fast here. Okay, our first stop had to be the sushi section, and it was extensive. I know this is a sushi buffet, but I'm actually surprised by how many different kinds of rolls they had. Now, I'm gonna start by just trying out one of the nigiri, which is just the piece of fish and the rice, because I'm curious to see just how the quality is. I got kind of overwhelmed and like really filled the plate, but let's just try salmon nigiri. This is my absolute favorite kind of sushi. Absolutely delish. So I've actually made sushi before, and the most difficult part is the rice. You want your sushi rice to be sticky enough to stick together, but not so sticky that you lose the individual grains. And I feel like this keeps all the individual grains while also being sticky enough to hold together. It's really good rice. And the fish feels fresh, tastes really good. They didn't have too many pieces out, so you can tell that they're rotating it pretty frequently. Let's try one of these rolls. I'm actually really eager to try this one. This one looks kind of like an eel roll. It's eel and avocado, as you can see. I think it's eel. It looks cooked. Let's give it a shot. That is delicious. The sushi is a perfect temperature. Sushi shouldn't be like cold. It should be like close to room temperature, but that obviously makes the shelf life less, but it tastes like the perfect temperature. That roll is really delicious. The avocado tasted really fresh. So this is some kind of crab. It looks like there's shrimp, shredded crab on top. Let's give it a shot. The first few bites I'm having, I'm super happy with the sushi. I always find buffet sushi to be notoriously bad, and I feel like that's because at a regular buffet, it's just kind of an afterthought. Clearly this buffet specializes in it, so the pieces are tasting really fresh. The rolls are thawed out, and there's like multiple flavors to them. I also noticed that a lot of them have a cooked element in them. That's kind of preventing a lot of the raw, because once there's a lot of raw, there's a lot of shelf life. So I have noticed that quite a few of these have cooked sushi. However, this one to me looks like just tuna. It looks like it has spicy tuna and regular tuna, and I'd like to give that a shot. This is my favorite buffet review ever. I love sushi so much. Each of the rolls has had something unique or individual going on. It is hard to say what's in each because they just have a title and nothing else, but they're all delicious so far. And the nigiri tasted really fresh and delicious, so I have 0 complaints on the sushi as a whole. I could keep trying each roll, but I feel like I'm gonna give you the same story. We're gonna eat all this, and then I saw there was plenty of other stuff to try. All right, this is some General Tso's. That looks delicious. Ooh, we gotta get some of these cheesy baked mussels. That sounds interesting. Let's see what we got over here. Garlic shrimp. What do you think, Mr. Ruby? You gonna eat that? Oh, yeah. Ooh. It's Mr. Ruby's favorite, calamari. Ooh. These look like crab, little tiny crab arms. Let's try that.
Okay.
Try this guy. My goodness. I want to try a spring roll for sure. That looks good. Cheese wonton, it says. Mr. Ruby's other favorite. Lots of your favorites over here in this section. All right, so we checked out all the other offerings of the buffet. So besides like an entire massive amount of sushi, they also have a bunch of other seafood offerings and some like Asian favorites. Let me show you what we got. General Tso's chicken, some crispy shrimp, calamari, crab, spring rolls, cheese wonton, and a cheesy mussel. Okay, I'm gonna start trying. I'm gonna start with just General Tso. So this should just be some spicy fried chicken. That's really nice. Not super spicy. Typically it's a little spicier than that, but the chicken's really delicious and tasty. I feel like people who are less adventurous will be like, okay, I have a safe option here. It's really tasty. I mean, that with some rice, and I'd be a happy camper. I really want to try the calamari. It looks very unique. That calamari is much more of like a true calamari where it's very much octopus, which means chewy. I don't know if that's going to be Mr. Ruby's favorite. I do like octopus on occasion. It's well seasoned. The breading's really nice. Pretty delicious. Now, they said there were no crab legs on the buffet, but I found myself a crispy, crunchy little crab guy here, so I'm going to give him a shot. I think this is probably the blue crab they were talking about. Yeah, just not a lot of meat to these crab legs, you guys. Like, it's kind of hard for me to get it out of there. I'm wondering if the weekends is when they have all the really good crab legs. But the meat tastes good. It's just kind of strange to put all this seasoning on the top of the crab leg when you can't really get to the meat inside. So not my favorite. This crazy shrimp guy, I think, is more Mr. Ruby's speed. Do you want to eat this guy? I'm scared of him. I'm just going to eat some of his innards, even though shrimp is not my favorite. Okay, this shrimp is delicious. I don't normally like shrimp. The meat in his little head just kind of like completely fell apart in my mouth and was like really tender and really yummy. Here, you have to try that. It's so good. Let me try this cheesy mussel. Now, I will say I generally prefer oysters over mussels. Mussels can be really, really chewy, but we'll see how this is. It might have really excellent flavor that I'm gonna like, so let's try it out. As far as mussels go, I actually really enjoyed that. Really cheesy, great flavor. Definitely the like oceany flavor of a mussel, but it was well cooked. I did like it. It's not normally my favorite food, but I would recommend those. I think they're pretty tasty. I want to try the spring roll. Just a typical spring roll, nothing crazy. So the inside's really mushy, but the outside wrapper's really crispy, crunchy, very typical. However, I will say, the shrimp and the mussel were definite huge standouts, and being that this is a seafood buffet and those are like the delicacies, very impressed. They're really good. Let's see what else they got. Let's get some broccoli beef. That looks really good. And then this is a baked scallop. I'll try this. It's fun.
Baked scallop?
Yeah.
That's good. How are you feeling about the barbecue roast duck?
I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot?
Sure. Why not? I'm gonna get a scoop of the hibachi fried rice. It looks like there's eggs in there. That looks really nice. Is this beef short rib? Ooh, that looks interesting. Let's get that. Sliced beef and ox tongue. Why not? Yeah. So they also on the cold bar here have some mussels, green mussel, octopus. Not really my thing, but they do have that all here for you. So even though this is a seafood buffet, they also had like a variety of other meats. So the beef and broccoli was definitely calling to us. Let's give that a shot. Very like Americanized Asian dish that people really like. I liked how easy to eat the beef was. It's like not overly chewy. The flavor was there. It was really nice. Tasted like soy sauce. Really enjoyed that. I am gonna try the duck now. The duck had skin and everything. It was kind of like bone in with the skin. They did have some sauces to go with it, but I didn't take any, so we'll just try it without. See how it is, just the duck itself. The duck is cooked well. It's well prepared, but there's not a whole lot of flavor to it. I think you're supposed to kind of smother it in like the Peking duck sauce or what have you. So cooked well. You would definitely need to smother it in a lot of their sauces. Let's try the scallop. This looks really interesting. Now again, scallops are the kind of same thing for me as mussels. I do like scallop a little more than I like mussels, but still, oysters are definitely more my thing. Let's just give it a shot. It looks good. The scallop is a little overdone. Then again, it does have to sit in a chafing dish, so I think that the scallop ends up overcooking itself by just having to be kept warm. Scallops have to be cooked for like 2 seconds to get cooked, and then they have that kind of marshmallowy softness. So I'd probably skip the scallop. I don't know that scallops keep really well on a buffet anyway. All right, let's eat the thing Mr. Ruby's excited for me to eat, which is ox tongue, because this is definitely a piece of ox tongue. He just wants to see me try stuff that he doesn't want to try. Looks well seasoned. Let's give it a go. Okay, that's not for me. Never had ox tongue before. Won't be trying that again. Not for me. So I will try these ribs. These look really interesting. It looks like they cut them crosswise and you can see like the bits of meat around the rib. I'm just gonna bite into it and see how it is. I'm kind of having to eat a lot of this with my fingers. Sorry about that, guys. I like the flavor. It's very like charred, meaty, but there's a lot of fat on the rib that hasn't like super cooked down. I don't know if I just haven't picked some very good pieces, but I prefer my rib to be like fall up the bone, fall apart, not super fatty. I'm kind of concluding that as a seafood buffet, should definitely stick to the seafood. We gotta see what else they have on offer. I know the lobster's coming. Thank you. Yeah. Yummy. All right, so we did try all this stuff already, but let's get into this lobster. This looks amazing. I am just gonna dig in. They kind of made it so I don't have to crack this open for you, although they did give me the claw cracker. Let's take a look. A lot of meat in these. Good, rich lobster meat. I mean, there's a ton in this claw, and they did have someone handing them out, so you could just keep going up, eating lots of lobster. Now, I will say, I'm usually more of a crab fan than a lobster fan, but this is really good, and the whole claw is really well seasoned. Tastes awesome, and I'm actually able to get like a lot of meat out of this particular one. Overall, I think the lobster is definitely a good addition. I'm not sure that it's worth paying the extra though when they have so much amazing sushi. So, I'm gonna eat all this up. There's also some desserts here. What else looks good? The Oreo?
Sure.
These two. So they do have a little dessert section of a couple little treats. We grabbed two. They both look like chocolate cake type desserts. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. It's an odd texture. Let's see. Oh, it's like a caramel cake. The caramel was like pulling and not preventing me from like cutting into it, but it's got good flavor. I actually like that. Let's try the Oreo one. This one looks a little more dense. I mean, they're not bad. They both just kind of taste like a chocolatey cake thing. Nothing crazy, but not a bad little sweet treat after all of that sushi. Just finished up at Imperial Sushi. I have to say, if I were to come back, I would probably just do the lunch for $25 because I definitely went back and got another plate of sushi. I thought that was by far the standout, along with a couple of the Asian favorites. However, I don't know if the $40 was worth it for me personally. The blue crab didn't really have a lot of meat on it. They only do crab legs on weekends, and I just didn't feel like the lobster justified the $40 price point. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Comment down below if you would come try here or if there's other sushi buffets you like in Vegas. I hope to see you guys all in my next buffet review.